good evening. How's everyone doing? Hello, Celine, Teresa, Donna, Ann. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys had a good weekend. The princess is behind the screen there, taking her time, waiting to make an entrance. Hello, Nikki. Anna, how are you? How's everyone? Monday night. Whoop-de-doo. Tired from the weekend. Again, we're getting into that area where we're just getting real busy. Georgie Ann, I like that name. How are you? Christopher, Heather, Christina, how's everyone doing? Okay, fresh off the heels of Kathy. Doing good, just very tired. I can imagine you guys are tired. Hope you guys had a good trip though. Fresh off the heels of Centenary University on Saturday night. It was so weird, I started out, Friday was Friday the 13th, so I'm someone who's superstitious, so I always Friday the 13th. I'm always like, anything goes wrong on Friday the 13th. I'm like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. But Saturday started out to be like Friday the 13th to me, and just one thing going wrong after another. Hey, Karen, Patricia, Veronica. I'm just watching what's going on around me. She's gonna sit eventually, doing whatever she's doing over there. Very entertaining. Tomorrow's Chris's birthday, by the way. She's going to be 30, 31, 32-ish. Yes, tomorrow's Chris's birthday. So that's why we're here tonight doing this live, because we would not be going live on the Queen's birthday, ever.
That's right. That. Okay.
Hello,
I'm
Rachel.
good.
How are you?
I got it done.
Francis? Yes, tomorrow.
Hey, thank you.
Birthday girl.
Yeah.
We all know, happy birthday. Yes, tomorrow you could all wish her a happy birthday as she turns 40 for the...
I don't have any qualms about age. Age doesn't bother me.
I know.
I think I've earned every year that I'm here.
Oh, bloody. Now we're saying bloody again.
Yeah.
Got tea. So, Saturday was... Saturday was a strange day. There were a few things that were happening that were bad luck-ish. And I was just like, man, it was like kind of one thing after another, kind of leading up. We went out with friends on Thursday?
Yeah.
Friday night. Nancy, Jonathan, and we forgot that we didn't have the objects that we needed for Saturday. So we had to drive from the Creeper Gallery after hanging out with friends till 10 o'clock at night, 9, whatever time it was. So we get the objects. We drive home. Now we're ready. Head up to the college. We get there early, for a 7 o'clock start. We're probably there at 5-ish. And, security people are very nice there.
They're good.
Especially the one guy that we worked with that was there Saturday night. So they got to open up certain buildings and certain things for us. And, the students are back. So, you got to kind of watch that they're not walking through every now and then. So we brought the shucker, the corn shucker.
We didn't do.
The what? It's just what we did, not what we did. We brought the corn shucker. We brought the doll that belonged to the little girl whose family was murdered. The mom and the father by the stepsister and her boyfriend, and we brought the
wine
champagne holder.
Yeah.
That was supposedly belonged to a politician who hung himself with his belt. Fun stuff. You can tell I picked out the stuff. I wasn't going to bring, I told you, the Mary Poppins, the lollipop doll.
There were some good things that were nice, gentle souls that we could have brought.
Who wants that?
Me?
So anyway, we knew Tanya and Kenny weren't going to be there. It was their anniversary weekend, so we knew it was just going to be, or so we thought it was going to be the four of us, me, Chris, Danielle, and Colleen. But then Colleen reminded us that she wasn't going to be there, so we were in a bit of a pinch to where, it was we knew we had the objects, but it was going to be three groups, and there were going to be bigger groups that were comfortable with. I mean, we've done big groups before.
We prefer not to.
Yeah, when we did the event with Adam literally sold as many tickets as he could. So with Adam, we had 12 and 13 people in our groups. So we've done it, but it's not something we prefer to do because we feel like it's overcrowded and too many people. So we were looking at the idea of doing just three groups with 8 or 9 people per group. But then we thought, we had spoken to Nikki before, who we all know Nikki, Holy Water Nikki, as you've come to know her. She,
Thank you.
Nikki, like a lot of the others that come to our events, have been doing this for a while, and they know what they're doing, and they've been with us for a while, and they got an idea of what we do and how we do it. So I had asked Nikki in the past, like, hey, if it ever came to the point where we needed someone, would you feel comfortable taking a group and doing your own thing? And she said, sure, I would do that. Well, batter up. Because we needed that on Saturday. So I reached out to her earlier. She was like, yeah, I'll do it. And again, we were happy about that because, again, we are with some people. We have seen people several times over the years. And, I'm comfortable with, several people that where if they were investigating on their own or, if they were the only one in a room with other people, they could
just like with Kathy.
Do their
Kathy's
own
been
thing
with us a lot, and Kathy helped me set up the haunted items for the investigation.
Yeah.
So it's like a big community where it's just we have helping hands, and it's great.
So anyway, so Nikki's on board, and we've got her coming in, and we get everything set up as far as where we're going to be, and the building's unlocked and everything, and we do the haunted objects part of it, and then we're going to do the building, and we're just ready to go and take our people where we're going to go with everyone. And I'm heading towards the library where I was going to be, which is like not across the campus, but it's not close to the building, the main building. And Nikki's like, John, the library doors closed and locked. And I'm like, what now? She's like, the door, and it had her stuff in it too that she was going to use. Now, again, we time everything out so the way the event runs, and she couldn't get in there. And security just isn't there. You have to find them. So we're like, look, we can't have two groups miss out on doing things. So she took her group and went in the downstairs of the library, and I went upstairs of the library. And it wound up working out eventually. But it was just like, it was like one of those weird things, like that happened. And then my recorder, the batteries were dead. Thank God I had batteries in something else. It was like one weird little thing after another. And I was just like, wow, this feels like Friday the 13th. It really does.
Yeah, you just say that several times.
Bad luck. And it was just, I mean, it worked out. It was a good night. And, from what I hear, everyone had a good time. That's really all that matters to me at the end of the night, is that people enjoyed it. I say that all the time. If people enjoyed it and they felt like it was worth the money they spent, then great, no matter what happens. And Kathy.
And having said that, we can regurgitate what we saw and heard, but we'd like to hear what you guys took away from it. Like, what you guys saw, what you heard, what happened in your groups, because we don't, like, I didn't, I'm not in John's group, I'm not in Danielle's, and I wasn't in Nikki's, so I miss out on all the stuff. So, I mean, I like seeing when people say on here in text what happened.
Even my son enjoyed it. Darius.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So I got to give him credit because he jumped in that circle
Marianne
in
was
that
there.
church, and I was surprised. I'm going to be honest with you, Heather. I was surprised he did it. I was tickled he did it, but they seemed to like him.
So with the again, with the first group being what it was, then I feel bad for anybody who was in that first group because things got a little, haywire for us in the library between Nikki and I, and then she was able to go over to the little theater where she was, supposed to be when they opened up, because that was another thing. We saw the security guy as we were on our way to the library, which again, in a perfect world, he would have been like, okay, let me drive my little golf cart thing there and I'll go open it up for you. Go back over there. There was the alarm going off in the other building, a fire alarm. So he's like, look, I got to handle that fire alarm first. So you're going to have to wait anyway. So we were just like, you know what? Whatever.
Right, Kathy?
Let's
We
just
do what we
this.
got to do, right? And it still works out.
So, again, one of the things I've always appreciated about doing what we do and being in the same places, there are people that'll say, I've investigated that place before. I've investigated that place before. I've investigated places 20 times over 12 years, and I could still be surprised. Fact, I have. Potawatomi Parsonage is one of those places. Barron Art Center has done that to me. The mine has done that to me. So it's not like, I went there last year. And this happened here. That no, it
changes.
It could change. That's not a guarantee.
No,
but it could change. And this time, I'm setting my routine, and around the Tilly. It's not really a Tilly display in the library. They have all different articles about people that have went to school there in the past. There was an article about the whole university caught fire. There's all artifacts in there, and so I was really going, it's a real historical display. It's pretty cool. And I'm in there usually talking to a female or a male and getting really good EVPs in one little tiny area. And then I go into another room and I usually get some interaction. In the basement, people usually see a shadow figure by the double doors. It's real dark down there and creepy. But this time, there was a different fella whose name was Walter, and Walter was interactive. Let's just say that, and it was different for sure, very very different, and it took a while for me to. Somebody was saying and doing things, but I didn't know who it was. So I was again within the first group or two. I'm trying to figure out like who is this now? Who's this now?
Yeah.
And then when we went into the other room, that's where he was mostly. And he wasn't there. All the other times I'd been in that area and library, which now has been like 2 or 3 times I've done that, and he wasn't there. He was there this time. Was he a passerby? Was he? Who knows? But he was there.
Like the brunettes.
And it was pretty cool and interesting. So I can't go into details, but,
we'll get banned.
But it was definitely banned. But it was definitely there was a get out, there was a leave. At first somebody was kind of saying that. And again, I do think in any places we deal with multiple spirits in a lot of places where you could be dealing with one saying one thing and then there's another one who's saying something else, and it happens.
Wow. We had I don't know what we had in the church and the cathedral. All I know is that on three occasions that night. One, it scared me so bad that I ran off of the pulpit.
It's the first thing people told me. They're like, we were in Chris's group. She heard a bang. She
I
ran off
wasn't the only one that heard
She
it.
ran
It was
off the
loud.
altar. She ran off the
You're
altar.
minimizing it. It
And
was, and they
poor
all
Taylor-
jumped too. They
Poor
all
Taylor
jumped too.
said, "Yeah, she left me up there by myself." I said, "That's our
But
co-leader."
everybody here knows, for full disclosure, if something goes wonky, I run, and I tell you flat out, and it was it, and again, Maria was there. She knows exactly how that was. Mary Ann's group, we had it happen again in her group, my last group, but I didn't run that time. I didn't.
Well, I'll vote to you then.
I did not run that time. I actually said to them, and not normally my thing, but the right thing to do is to go focus on it and chase after it. It was very active up there. Played the piano when they got responses. They were getting responses off the other piano that was going across the way by the door. Somebody put down a REM pod by the door going out, and the thing told us to leave. And when it told us to leave, it lit up the lights over by the door, like saying, "This is the exit. You need to go." You post in the friggin' runner. I ran. I have no shame. When I say boom, it was like a wall was going to come down. I'm out of there. I didn't leave the room.
Well,
What
you all should be grateful that
you should.
she hid behind a pew and she didn't
I didn't
leave.
hit. I sat on the first pew. I came right down and I sat. I didn't abandon I left that spot, but I stayed in the room. But.
And she wants to do a paranormal cruise. Could you imagine if there were things going on the cruise? You'd see the lifeboat going away from the boat, headed to land, and be like, "Anybody see Chris? Oh, there's a light all the way over there by land already. Who could be on that thing?"
And I did, the one thing that I did do that I was really, really, really upset with is that I cursed. I said the F word when I was in there because something scared me when I was over by the side. So,
good.
Yeah.
Even I don't curse in church. And I'm not very religious, but even not, I know better than to do that.
Yeah, that's right, Marion. It did say that, and it was crazy. Man overboard.
They know you.
And that's right, Heather. It said in the corner, and that's where shadow comes from. It's crazy. I did the cards there, and it pointed. It pointed at the corner where the shadow comes from. Why are you looking at me like a... See, I say this with a smirk on my face because I know how he reacts to that. There was a lot to take in.
It's like investigating with Shaggy. Anything happens, you get a zoinks, and I know I've done it enough. Believe me, I don't. That's why it was no surprise when people came over to me and they were like, "Chris heard a bang and she ran off the altar." I'm like, "She ran," and they said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." Like, no surprise there. Hey, it happens. Some of us are built for the.
I defy anyone to say that didn't make them jump. Maybe y'all didn't
jumping
run.
is one thing. Jumping is a normal reaction too.
Well, some people freeze. I don't freeze. I'm going. I'm like, boom, gone. But no, there were. Oh my God! And they heard a female voice outside the other side of the door, not where we come up to go in, but where you go out the other side to go up to the top. They were hearing female voices out there, and they were asking me, "Is there a female out there?" And I said, "There's nobody out there. There's no one at all." And we checked. There's nobody there, and they kept hearing a female voice, and we heard a male voice live up by the pew too.
And they said, "Chris, we heard a voice. Chris." Wait a minute, what? Those taillights in that car.
So
is that?
Tell this man that we're all there. It was a loud bang, not a little boom. It was a loud bang.
Have you ever? Now, be honest. Be 100% honest. Have you ever seen me run from anything in all the years of doing this?
Well, it's called a mental.
There's a simple yes or no to that.
Have I seen you ever run from anything? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So what does that? That doesn't make you the smartest.
If I was with
that
people.
Means you're not the smartest individual in the room, because when something goes down, you need to hustle.
Especially if I was with people, I would definitely be the one.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah. Well,
I have no
you're,
curiosity when it
you're
comes to that.
responsible for those
None.
people. Yeah,
Dude,
dude, run.
run. Exactly.
She's definitely Aaron, 100%. She's got the hoodie. I think the hoodie says "Dude, run" on it. It may.
Maybe. But listen, in the dark, the quiet, and you're doing an investigation, and we're all up on the pulpit, and from behind us over to the side, where there's nothing that should be making that noise, happens. It wouldn't make you like for anything.
No.
I saw everybody else's faces around me. They all had the look like, holy crap.
Yeah, I get that look. And I get that feeling like, okay, let's see what happens next. Or let's see what. Now, if all of a sudden somebody was being like dragged across the floor over there, or something came flying across the room and like crashed down, then maybe I would say, all right, everybody, let's leave this area. One little teeny bang.
It wasn't a teeny bang, man.
Come on.
It was not. It was not a teeny bang. It was aggressive. It was loud. It vibrated up there, and it did. It scared. It put me into action. That's all I have to say.
But again, we don't. Like I said,
I'm the person that's going to be the survivor. So you guys stick with me.
Yeah, because you're going to be in your car halfway home when the rest of us are still in the building. But like I said, we don't really get a chance because you know, after the event, we're more in the we're more of the, you know, let's just go to the whatever, the Wawa, the Quick Check or whatever, and we get our drinks and we get our bagels or egg and cheese muffins, and we just sit and decompress usually after, and that's what we did that night too. We just all went down there and we, you know, there was talking here and there, but nothing really about what happened where and with who. And, you know, we didn't even quote unquote debrief Nikki. I talked to her a little bit here and there about how it went, but you know, I heard, you know, I heard she did okay, and I heard you know, here's the thing. I don't care who you are. You could be Jason Hawes, you could be Zach Baggins, you could be Amy Allen, you could be any of Adam and Amy. You could be any of these people who you guys deem as being great or whatever. You're only as good, if there is such a thing, as the building lets you be. Meaning, if the building's not giving you anything, i.e. the spirits in the building, then you're not manufacturing nothing. Nothing will happen. No. You're just going to be at the mercy of trying to initiate that conversation and that interaction. But if they're not there and they're not willing to interact, then I don't care who you are. You could be the best of the best. It's just not going to matter because the building. But on the opposite end of that coin is those nights where the spirits are active and they're around and they're curious and they're ready to, you know, make themselves known. Those are the nights where you just stick it on autopilot and you have a great night because the building and the spirits are giving you everything you need. You can't count on that every time, all the time. It's crazy to think you can.
And I'll be honest with you. I've been in the cathedral before, and I have to say that's the most active nights that I've had.
I've never had an active night really in the cathedral.
And the one I had one very active night, but it was with one individual particular that instead of being down by the pulpit, everybody was up in the balcony side, and it was just an individual by himself down there with the doors closed, and the door went flying open, and the kid was blindfolded and had the thing over his ears, and he flipped out all of a sudden and threw everything off. He had gone into like a depressive whatever, and he felt something he had by him, and he had no idea the doors flung open, and then he did that. It was like this really, and I rushed right down to get him out of it. That was bizarre. But there's something odd about that chapel. I can't put my finger on it. And there was a heaviness to there.
Yeah, like I said, I've been in there a few times, and I got one good EVP there one time. But I mean, I guess because, you know, in the afterlife, they know of the paranormal savior. So I have a bubble around me, or my aura. I must walk in there, my aura, and they go, oh, okay, not him. We're not going to do this. Whereas you don't really have that aura.
I seem to get picked on by the spirits.
Well, you're the chicken beacon. You have that.
A chicken beacon.
They come and like, here she is. Let's make a noise and watch her run.
So when I went into the church, the cathedral, and I was doing my setup, and the lights were on because I won't shut the lights off while I'm setting up, and I'm talking to whatever's in there, and I'm saying, listen, there are some people that are going to be here. They want to communicate with you tonight. Save it for when they get here. You don't need to display it right now to me. I know you're here. We're good. And I turn around to go walk out, and right behind me, boom! And that's how my night started. And I will tell you, from that time on, after I set up, I was never in the church by myself again. I didn't stay in there by myself. I didn't, because I don't like that. I know all of you do, but I don't. I don't want to be interacted with from the other side. I guess is the best way to say it.
You picked the wrong business, though.
I kind of did pick
darling. I hate to tell you. But no, back to the original point is that, like I said, all we could do is go in the building and try. That's all we could do. That's literally what we do every weekend, when especially these weekends when we're so busy. We're just going in there and trying. That's it. And we follow a process. We try different things. I think more so than just me or her. I do think that people make a difference, and
yeah, 100%.
It was proven during, the what was going on in the library, that just females with dark hair, and were the ones getting attention.
Hi, Kathy.
And that was, again, the scientific part of my brain, the researcher in me says, wow. Again, and I really do, at that time, with what was going on there, I really do, I would love to spend more times trying to fish that out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But unfortunately for me, I do it as much as I can in between groups, but I really would like to get everything I could from whoever, that one person was that was there on that particular night, because that's why we're there.
So,
Well,
has there ever been a time, whether with an object or a place, where something was coming through that you kind of, no, I really don't want to go any further with this?
No. You mentioned that fetish. What does she call it? Fawn fetish. No, that there was a reaction. There was something going on there. Now, again, my job as a researcher was I hit the pause button on that, and I stopped it, or you said to stop it. But I had a back and forth, and things were happening. Again, as a researcher, I should have taken that down the road as far as I could to see why there was a reaction, what was going on there.
No, there has to be limits.
Well, I don't believe,
it doesn't mean you can't go back to it, but I don't think necessarily that sometimes when
because you may never get that reaction again. You may never get that type of interaction again.
Well, that reaction was getting a little bit. So,
I mean, you remember the very first time we investigated the Martha Margaret doll.
I do.
Huh?
I do.
That was wild.
That was, yes.
Wild. We still have that video, and maybe I'll show that again one time, because it was part of something that we did years ago, and I never really got to show that whole thing.
Well, you do your YouTube thing too.
Yeah, that's starting when
Come back.
Probably Wednesday. Well, we have the auctions. When?
Wednesday.
Is no.
Yes.
It's
the day
the
after
auction's
my
Wednesday.
birthday.
Yeah. So we have the live auction on Wednesday. Yeah. So I don't know if there'll be a Creeper Gallery investigation this week, but so yeah, one of those days we'll start the cable access shows, but that's not on there. That's not on any cable access show. I think we did, but that doll anyway. She's trying to hear me. I'm going to stay on. But that doll, the initial interaction we had after finding out the story that the mom abused the daughter, and the medium Armand said that the doll has like a bowl haircut, and he said that the mom cut the doll's hair like that because the mom was schizophrenic and the mom was jealous that she paid more attention to the doll than she did her mother, and she cut the doll's hair to punish the little girl, and that she abused her, and that she eventually was responsible for the death of her daughter. And then when she died, she had her ashes mixed together. You guys may remember this. But our initial interaction with that doll and those ashes was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy off the charts.
It made you uncomfortable listening to what happened. And I think what got me was an EVP where maniacal laughter, woman's laughter.
One of the best EVPs
when I asked
ever gotten.
If you felt bad about what you did, and just this maniacal laughter just shows up out of nowhere.
One of the best EVPs I've ever heard. Again, of a mentally disturbed person, but the amount of evidence that we got and all kind of corroborating or validating what the medium had said and what the backstory was, it was all just a perfect fit.
What you were saying about just keep following that
but
line.
But that
where it
one,
leads you.
we did. We fished that out as much as we could. Even that night, we were there on that one object for a while. Yeah. And we got everything we needed to get, or we could get, to prove the research as well as the reading.
But let me ask you this. The curse box. You guys opened it. In light of what happened when you guys opened the curse box, would you still be as quick to jump in and open something like that again?
A cursed item?
Uh-huh.
No.
So you do have limits. You will pull back and not fish and go all the way through to see what it's going to do.
Yeah, but with that thing, the fawn fetish wasn't cursed.
I'm just saying about in general.
No, I think John Sappis posted something today about some object that he got. Again, my phone's right there, but he said an object that he got was causing the family. Anybody had bad luck that had it or something like that. I have a big fear of bad luck and bad things happening, especially to, again, myself and my loved ones. And so for me, yeah, I'm hesitant to mess with anything like that. You know, and curses, yeah, I don't like messing with things. That's why the religious book, we still haven't gotten back to that. Yeah, there it is right there. It says a piece of jewelry has been wreaking havoc on many people have been involved with this item. It goes back several generations with cursing one of our original colony families. So generational cursing, I mean, that's stuff you don't fool around with. You just don't.
So you will not. No matter you won't do this thing where you'll follow it.
When
down.
It comes to curses, no. I am afraid of that a little bit because again, I wouldn't mess with that. I had been told years ago. I think someone in my family was told that our family was cursed like generations ago, and it was one of those things where, you know, we heard that when we were all in our 20s, you know, as kids, me and my siblings. I'm the youngest. And we were like, yeah, whatever. I mean, we knew my mom had tumors and she couldn't hear and all that other stuff. But, you know, after all these years have gone by, I mean, and all the things that have happened, Who knows? You know,
so that's a line that you have.
Cursed objects, yeah.
You didn't before because you didn't believe in it.
I'm leery of them for sure.
So just as you guys don't know, when we're talking about this curse thing, if you guys with the curse box, John didn't believe in curses before the curse box. He didn't put too much store into it. He really didn't even. There was no. Even, Donna and him wanted to open this box so bad, even though it had been sealed with wax and burnt, and it wouldn't burn all the way. They literally had to see what was inside that box, no matter what.
Because everything's just a story until that point.
I get it.
And again, I'll be 100% honest.
Even the medium said it's evil.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of bad things that you don't want to open this up. And elders had said, you guys shouldn't be opening up. I understand that.
I honestly...
I'm explaining what went down.
Right, but I honestly think, and I'll be 100% honest, and if it offends people, and again, John Zaffis, will disagree with me. I think Annabelle's a total farce, a total fake. I really do. I do not believe there's a demon in that doll. I don't believe.
But you don't believe in demons either.
Again, we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about I do not believe the lore of that doll, and it is anything. I think it's a doll, and people attribute a story and things to it, and the legend just boom, 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 boom. My opinion.
Well, do you think that there's something that happened that maybe started that whole?
Yeah, someone made up a story. People got the thing.
I meant
they probably thought it was. They attributed things in the house that were going on to this doll and the story and the story and the story, and like I said, that's my belief.
But so when they decided they wanted to open this box,
which is a lot of a rumor of the Warren stuff. A lot of the Warren stuff is rumored to be that way.
I know.
To be honest with you.
So when they decided to open this curse box, they decided to do it at Donna's place outside, and
Taylor.
They put.
Taylor was the one who was left on stage when.
He's been picking at me nonstop, Taylor, about that.
Taylor, I'm very sorry.
It was a little bang.
I'm very sorry, Taylor.
I'm good.
I'm very sorry that you were left alone to deal with whoever made that loud bang. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
So they get a saw, and they're sawing it open because they had to get a little saw to cut the nails and stuff in it. And she had rubbed sage around it. She was in a protective circle.
Well, there's a protective. Why didn't you jump in it instead of running the other way?
Because I just saw the exit.
That wouldn't make me feel real good about a protective circle. I can tell you that much.
So she had rubbed sage all around it, and she put the salt and everything, and she did like what she thought was going to be enough protection, and she was told that wasn't going to be enough protection. And when they started opening it, and then some really bad things happened, her dog, someone else's dog, her partner, and the partner is a person, passed away. I mean, there was a lot of bad things that kept happening with that box, and happened even after they opened up the box when it was touched again. So this is why she doesn't let nobody touch it. But that's when John finally really said, holy cow, curses are real, because there was a lot of darkness that poured out of that box.
We've gone over that. We talked about that whole thing. But I really don't, like I said, I think once you make that connection and you start interacting, I think you should take it as far as you can within reason and within the safety of what you're doing. But again, there's you're asking them now to make connection and interact and do all that stuff.
I get that.
And then when they start doing that, you're like, oh, shut it down. That's it. Over, whatever. No, I think there's a reason now that they are reacting the way they are and treating you the way they are, making you feel the way they are, because something's going on. And if you can document that and withstand and whatever you're doing, you should try to do it. Can't wait for the auction. It'll be my first night of 6 nights camping by the fire watching it. Yeah, the auction is the first one of the year. She hasn't done one in a long time.
Yeah, since the
And this is why Nikki carries holy water.
Well, Nikki, I need to get a spray bottle with holy water to spray him when he's doing something and it's nasty and he gets testy and doesn't stop.
Just remember, when the person who made the protection circle isn't running into it, you
actually, I gotta be honest.
You
I
got
forgot
problems.
it was there.
You
I was
got
so scared.
problems.
I forgot the protection circle was even
the
there.
The protection circle didn't have an exit sign over it because that's where she was running to. That there must have been another one in the hallway.
I just ran right off the pulpit. I just went whoop.
Peter carries holy water too.
Sorry.
Again, I don't believe in it enough to carry holy water. So for me, it's I don't know the dynamic duo. Hello, William. God, it's been forever since we saw you guys.
That bang was loud. It wasn't a little boom. It was really. I mean, I can't even express to you. See, it still kind of gets me a little bit, so I need to be quiet.
I have something actually. There's something being made for me. It's. I don't want to say what it is. We all know why. Because him and that one 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 over there. But this thing, I have something being made, but I'm getting two of them. So it's the same piece of equipment, but it's two of the same thing. And I just ordered something else that looks pretty cool and wasn't that expensive that I'm really, really curious about because I watched a video of it being demonstrated and it looked pretty cool. But sometimes the stuff that looks pretty cool turns out to not work the way.
But at least you're always trying to do different things and trying to experiment with stuff.
Yeah, this so. But the one thing that's the things that are being made for me, one of them is done. The other one, I was told by the end of the week that they both should be completed and shipped out to me. So I'm hoping by.
I'm excited to see how that works.
Either next week or the week after, I should have those things. And the thing that I ordered, I don't know how long that's going to take, but it should be pretty cool. These things because, again, the videos I watched, I was like, yeah, I like that because, again, you're dealing with the same concepts really, as far as equipment with everything. It's either electromagnetic field, EMF, something that reacts to energy, something that reacts to static electricity, temperature, movement.
Anything with the environment, right?
Yeah, that's what you're really dealing with as far as equipment, and but there's only so many ways you could use them, in a different way. But that's the key, is to figure out how you can use that in different ways with different people to see what kind of reaction you get. So that's what I like doing anyway.
When Heather was in your group, did you get a lot of activity around her son?
Darius, I know that there were some things said when he was speaking here and there. But again, I was in a different building under different circumstances. And that's all I could say. Okay. I didn't get enough time in the basement, but I got to do the time of the year changed, so the air conditioners aren't on or they shut off earlier. The timings are all different. Right. So I love it because it changes the way I can do things, because that basement was so loud when we were there the last time, when the air conditioning was on the whole time. It was just, that's all you heard on the recorder. This time it was so quiet, and there's a natural echo underneath there. And it was creepy. And I wish I knew that she was one of the Girl Scouts and her mom was there.
Bree and
of course, Groundhog Day knows.
Was it Bree and Amber?
But the one from the Girl Scouts, she definitely had something that was definitely interested in her. Picked up something, I think, to a small child, Ricky.
Yeah, that was crazy. I heard about that.
Yeah, that was here's the thing, and let's get your guys' opinion on this too while we're on. Now, there's a lot of theories out there, and you know, because we're not mediums, we're not, in theory, we're not tapping into, in my opinion, we're not tapping into the spirit realm. Okay, that's my opinion. My opinion, when we're in a building and we're doing what we're doing, we're tapping into local spirits, spirits that are in the room or within earshot or close by. Mm-hmm. That's always been my opinion when we go into these buildings and we do what we do. I never ever feel like we're just tapping into the spirit realm and other spirits could come and enter, like if a medium was doing a session and opening up and spirits, who are you looking to connect to? Well, my Aunt Tilly from whatever. I've never been one to think that, but then weird things happen and it kind of shakes up that globe.
That theory
and you
goes
go,
out the window.
What the hell is going on here? Because she had mentioned it. There was an SLS figure that appeared to be a very small person. And Teresa, is that her name? Was that her name? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
In Teresa's hands. She was sitting down and the figure appeared and it was small and it just stayed there. And then it kind of went up and it disappeared. And I'm thinking, well, that's a really small person. I mean, small. And again, it was personal in nature to her. I don't know if I could say what it relates to, but it was personal in nature to Teresa. And I wouldn't say it unless Marianne or Teresa said it was okay to say it. But it was personal in nature to her, related to something to do with her. And then the young guy with the hat, starts with an R. Can't remember his name either. But he's standing by himself, and whatever was near him was on all fours. It was small. Ricky. It was small, and it was on all fours. And I kept saying, this ain't a person. This is an animal or somebody crawling. And it went right over to him. And we're watching this thing happen. And he said that he had lost his pet had passed recently. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on here? What is going on here? So it literally, my mind was like, wait a minute. How in the world, because that never really happens, but there have been times, you and I both know, there have been times where people have been with us and they said, that EVP name that we got, my grandmother just passed and that's her name. How many times has that happened?
It has happened, but I think this, so what do you think has it changed your thought process?
I think with certain people, if it's possible, that maybe they're the conduit that could bring whoever in at times. I guess they're the ones opening that channel and asking for someone to come and communicate with them and talk to them. That maybe if you do believe that spirits are around you, maybe it's possible for that link to be made at that. I don't know. It's a theory, but it was very, very strange. Am I saying that it was factual, that it was his dog or somebody related to connect it to Teresa? No, I can't say with any kind of certainty. There wasn't any kind of other evidence that would support that as far as voices or barking on the recorder or whatever. But there have been times that's happened. And it is a very strange phenomenon because I don't know. My theory has always been when you're in a building and you're communicating, just like the Creeper Gallery, the reason we take one object and isolate it from the others is because we're doing one-on-one conversation with either that person or the other people that are there. We're not, it's not Ghostbusters. We're not opening up the channel to the entire spirit world and who's ever. We're not doing a seance,
Right.
you know. So it's a weird phenomenon, and I don't know. I really don't, but maybe it is possible. I don't know. You know.
I do believe, and this is mine, and this is I think that when you are dealing with certain things, that people's energy, or you're in the right setting and around the right people, and you're doing the right things, and you're creating that type of synergy, I do think that that can happen.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that I've very I've rarely seen that. I really have. But sometimes if people attribute it, I've seen people create their own narrative with it too. Whereas if things are going off near them or happening,
Right.
they go, is this grandma? Grandma,
Right.
is this you? Grandma, if this is you, light that light again. Grandma,
And that's
they
because
right
the
away
person's
attribute
coming
it
in
to.
wanting that, and
Right,
not
right.
not and it's like anything. When somebody wants something so bad, they're going to look for it.
I've seen and I've experienced spirits follow people,
but you can't explain it. I mean, so you have to open up that possibility, like you said.
It's always the what
that
if.
was a very personal thing that happened, and how can you explain that? If it had been anybody else in that group,
but I could. That's the thing. It's not as if I couldn't explain what I was mapping and what I was seeing. There are other possible explanations.
There always is, but the coincidence of the fact that it was Teresa, and what showed up on the thing, there are different things that just those type of things. If it was anybody else in that room besides Teresa,
and
you'd never question. You would just automatically say.
And I didn't see that figure anywhere else with anyone else. Not
it was just that one time.
Not that small.
So that begs to make you think.
But again, I wish I could go into the specifics of the library, but I really can't go into it. But there was a very active person there this time who wasn't shy. He was making himself known. But there was somebody else as well. I believe there was two people. One who was the, please leave. Never rude. There was, the first thing was please leave, and then it was a get out. But and again, passerbys or people that are there all the time, they're not used to being spoken to, or I think in terms of these places that are visited by so many people all the time. This is where you and I and John Zaffis talked about this. If let's take the Acme Hospital. Acme Hospital is there every weekend. There's people at Acme Hospital, and Acme Hospital isn't a huge building. Let's say Acme Hospital is a 2-story building. Used to be whatever, tuberculosis or whatever. And yet Acme Hospital, every weekend there's different people 3-4 times a week in that building asking the same questions, doing the same things over and over and over. Now, we were just talking about this with the people that we went out with. I'm a person who unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to, I am not good long term around people. I need my space. I need to unplug and be away from people. I can never spend a week with people where I was forced into the state. Non-stop. Yeah, where I was forced to be in a situation where I was around them all the time, where I couldn't go in and watch TV for 2 hours if I wanted to, or just go and eat something by myself and look at my phone while I did that. I need that time. It's a character flaw, whatever you want to call it, but that's how I am. I don't mind a day or two. I'm okay with that. But if you it's like being in jail to me. If you force me any longer than that, and it's a week, I get really uncomfortable to where I just need my space. I need it. And again, it's whether people are like that or not, it's me. I know it. I need time to just be by myself and just relax and process and just be, not around people. So I imagine there are people, spirits out there who may have the same characteristics. So let's, for instance, again, you're in this hospital where 5 nights a week groups are coming in there. Some groups have 5, some groups have 12, some groups have 20, and they're on every floor, going in every room. And they're, how did you die? What is your name? Blah, 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 bang, blah, 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 all the freaking time. Now, again, if you're a spirit, there are nights, because you're a person, where you're going to be like, hey, you know what? That lady over there seems real nice. That group, they're laughing, they're having a good time. I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go over there. I'm going to ask some questions, and I'm going to light up that thing, and I'm going to interact with them, and I'm going to have a good time tonight because I'm in a good mood. Then if you get the other spirits that are like, damn, it's here they are again. It's like, does this have to be every night? With these people, yeah. How did I die? How did I die? I shot myself here. Yeah, do I have to be reminded of that again and again and again? And that's where I think sometimes you may get out the leaves or whatever, because sometimes it's just like, you know what? No, not tonight, not now. Just go over there and talk to. You know what I mean?
I do.
They're people. That's what we're talking about. Spirits are people. So you're gonna run the gambit of personalities,
I say
moods,
that to the spirits
beliefs.
all the time. Get out. Leave me alone.
I'm just saying.
Hear it.
if I were a spirit, I would be.
I do it to the other side.
I would be one that would, yes, make the bangs and scare people and move things if I could.
Thank you.
But yeah, there'd be other times where I would just be like, no, you're going to get nothing but curse words and get the hell away from me and leave me the hell alone. Yeah. Sure. It's humans. That's what we forget. Some people just tend to put spirit in a whole different category. And it's weird how you can separate we as the living from those who have passed, when there is no difference except they've taken a journey that we haven't yet.
They don't have their
but
vessel
they
anymore.
were us before they've journeyed into whatever happens next. So there is no difference. Places are probably very active and people were well. We had that a lot. After COVID, we had some of our best investigations at different places where people hadn't been in for months or a year. They were like, hey, people again, like let's show them we're here. We had a lot of good stuff after COVID. Yeah. So that's just my opinion, but it is a very interesting.
But the other side of that is the belief that when you do that, it opens a channel because of all of that continual asking, so that other spirits start to come in because there are people asking these questions and wanting to know. And so they want to communicate with the people that are there asking questions. Yeah. That's the other side of that theory.
And Patricia asked that question. That reminds me of, like, again, the movie, Beetlejuice 2 is out now. And in the original Beetlejuice, they were trying to be seen and heard by the family that lived there. And they just didn't see them or recognize them. Only the daughter could, who was sensitive or whatever. I do think that, take these historical buildings, for instance, and that's what I always harken back to. There'll be 1 or 2 people that have seen things and heard things, yet there's a board that meet over there once a week or every couple of weeks. Yeah. There's visitors that come through those buildings all the time just to walk around and see the artifacts and learn about the history. Yet no one's walking in there going, hey, is anybody still around here that wants to talk? I came here to talk to you. Anybody around? Because we had that experience in Morristown where they were literally like, remember the one bedroom we went in? They were like, not here. Nope.
They didn't like me in that room.
Here. Like, this is our room. No one's ever come in here and tried to talk to us before.
Get out.
You're not doing that in this room. Yet other rooms were completely different. So I do believe that, Patricia. I do believe that sometimes the spirits, after being and existing in a place for a long, long time,
nobody's ever spoke to
and not really being acknowledged or spoken to, can be either, and they can react to that in either way. negatively or positively.
Or
You know?
yeah, or waiting for the right person that for whatever reason creates that where they do want to respond. Because we've gone in places where we haven't had anything happen, and then a group of people come in that we bring in, and these things that start to happen with individuals there is just unbelievable.
That's an interesting question. You know, Laura said, I always wonder about people who die on the ocean, like the Titanic, or, you know, the waves take them or whatever. Do they travel to the land in hopes to be heard? Um, what's so weird, again, if we're talking about theory, in theory, a spirit can travel anywhere. They're not stuck where they passed. Some may be, and I'm not saying that that's not possible either. Are there some that may, for whatever reason, still be tied to that ship on the bottom of the ocean? If we're saying it's possible for places like Waverly Hills and all those to have spirits that linger, then why wouldn't it be possible for those spirits to still linger there?
Right.
You know what I mean? In theory, anything is possible, but you would think, not being bound by the physical form and body, that they would return to places that were familiar to them in life, like their old homes or their burial
Yeah, because I
spot.
don't want to think that death where you die is where you're stuck or where you have to
But
be.
it is
So
possible.
It
In theory, it's possible.
I hope not. I pray not.
I mean, again, people see spirits all the time in Gettysburg on the battlefield. You're going to tell me they just go there at
I'm
2 o'clock
hoping,
every afternoon
I'm
and go,
hoping that's
hey,
an
let's run
essence
around
of
where
you
we
that's left,
battled.
like a stain. I'm hoping that's like an essence of a stain that's left.
I
That's
don't
what I'm hoping, because I would like, or they can just come and go to whatever. Well, that is way off topic.
Off topic, but if you know somebody who's never had any, see, that's a big flag for me, Celine, because I actually know people. I've known some people for years, and again, can people have the ability and just like kind of put it on the DL for those of you out there? That means down low. For you young people out there who don't know the lingo, I do believe there are people that may have these abilities that sit there and don't want to say they do because they're afraid, you know, how people that have known them for years are going to be like, really, really. But I also do believe that there are people, I've seen it, who I've known for years, that all of a sudden pop out, and I can name some names to you that you would know in the field, especially in Jersey, that they weren't and then they were.
I know people who took a weeks of class and then put out a shingle to say that they are absolutely professional,
and I see
experienced psychics.
And I go, nope, 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 nope. You know, I look at some mediums.
Maybe.
Like, I look at some mediums, like, to me, like, I'm sorry, but, and I know you're going to disagree with me, I think, and I shouldn't be saying this the week before psychic, but I think, you know, tarot is just interpretation, impressions of whatever the card meanings are, and then you mesh them together into a nice story. That's me. I'm sure there's some intuitiveness involved, but you know, tarot I think is different than being what do they call it? Evidential. What do they call those, mediums? Again, for me, I do believe in mediums. I have met real mediums, but back to Celine's question, for people who haven't been mediums for years to all of a sudden just, I am one now. And again, I know a few of them.
So why would I disagree with that?
And I know a few of them, and every time I see them online or I see them doing their advertisements, I'm like, dude, or dudette. I'm like, I've known you for a while. Now you're a medium. It's like, okay. It's like, again, very, I don't know.
It's almost like the fashionable thing to
It's just too easy. It's, again, I could tell you all tomorrow that I'm a medium. And after we take this class at whenever we're doing it, is it coming up in October or something, you know, Halloween? After that, I can tell you all that, you know what? I'm a medium now. I took this class, I do believe I have these abilities. And I can walk all of you through a hallway or a building, whether it be Centenary or Camp Evans or anything, and tell you, oh, Sterling, how mine. There is a man, and he's in his late 30s, 5 o'clock shadow, tall, brown hair. He's over there in the corner. I don't think something may have happened to him over there. But his name is, I think it's Jeff. Who's going to deny that, honestly? And how are you going to prove that I'm making that up? Honestly, how? You can't. So I can make up all the horse shit that I want to. That's what's frustrating to me. Give me some proof, man. When we, especially with the haunted objects,
He needs a booth. That's
the
right.
mediums that you'll notice, there are impressions that are on every one of those objects for the most part. Do you ever see us read them? Ever. Except for when we do the auction. Do you ever see us refer to them and read them?
No, we don't like to.
If what we do matches that, when people do read it or it's read at the auction, wonderful, great, we validated the stuff. My main focus is on the haunted objects is, here's the information that Donna gave me, a name, a history, a place, some details about their life. Let's see if we could validate that first and get anything along the lines to validate that. And then let's take that, and if they want to extend that and tell us more of their story or about their lives and about how they're feeling, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me going through those impressions and going, oh, they also said they like to eat Snickers. And if I mention the Little Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, they're going to sing on EVP. Sorry. I'm going to take the factual data, and I'm going to try to document and validate whatever I can and add to that in our way first. And we do no differently when we're in buildings. General information. Now let's find out who's here and why, and if they want to talk to us, and if they want to tell us anything they can, and if there's anybody here that seems to be that they're drawn to, and for whatever reason.
Well, that was
easy.
That was really cool. That was about the Centenary College thing. Is that in the one group where sometimes you get caught up, you're in a church, so it must be a father or whatever. But we actually got a thing with a little girl and a little boy too, which wouldn't have gotten if we'd have focused on just the father on a pulpit.
Yeah, and I mean, even like the sketching stuff with spirits. I mean, that kind of, I don't know. If I was an artist, I can't draw. But if I could draw, again, that gives a little more proof in people's mind that they're not, it's really not, though.
I mean, when they're taking it out of their head and they're putting it on paper.
It's the illusion. It's the illusion of being tangible, because not only are they telling you who this person is or whatever, but now here's an image. I drew them because now I planted that. The first seed I told you about, the old scruffy guy in the corner of the mine. Now I just drew him, so now he's real. So,
and you could do a basic drawing and make it fit whatever.
I kind of, again, that's other stuff that okay, now prove to me more. I need more proof. If you've got EVP and you've got other interaction, you've got other documented stuff, then maybe I'll believe you a little more. But I just think, I don't know. I've never been that person that, I mean, I've worked with mediums. I know mediums that are legit, and it's and these are people who were around before the internet and before Ancestry.
You got him going, Celine.
And, I mean, again, I do believe in mediums. I know people that have gotten readings, and I know people that love getting readings.
And that's a good point with Dan. Again, you're talking about,
but we're not talking about mediums in general. We're talking about, again, Celine's point, people who were never claimed to be mediums before, and then one day said, I'm a medium. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all mediums.
But Dan made a very good point, and this is where you have to use your noggin. when it's talking about you can't prove the factual. It all comes down to the morals and ethics of the person who is stating that they're the medium or if they're a medium. And that is true.
Right.
It's their ethics and their morals. Who's lying to you and who is actually there to help you and telling you the truth. And that's the critical part.
We were talking about, even today, the psychic fair is coming up on Saturday. And, the proceeds to that benefit the Barron Arts Center, our good friends. And I should say, Chris does, because we all know my interest in mediums is about that much. But I do have really good friends that are mediums. Again, Jane Doherty, Judy Kay, Connie, Gloria. I mean, I do have really good friends that are mediums who have proven things to me that I can't explain. But Chris actually does vet the mediums and the readers, I should say, that are at the expo and the psychic fair. A lot of other conventions, or some other conventions, I shouldn't put that label on all of them. It's like, you want to be a vendor? Done. You want to be a vendor? Done. You want to be a vendor? Done. Pay your money? Done. Pay your money? Done. At least she takes them through a process, and you know her. I mean, she is who she is. She's very intuitive. She's very aware. She's looking for specific things in these people. So she has hour-long conversations with them where she gets to see who these people are, their ethics, their beliefs, how long they've been doing it. So she at least, and again, I trust her as well to do it. And in all the years we've been doing this, we've never had someone come back and say to us, that person was a BSer, that person ripped me off, that person, it hasn't happened. So I trust her instincts completely. So
thank you, Kathy. Thank you, guys.
So when those people are there on Saturday, and if you go, and I hope you do, just know that, again, she's vetted all these people. She's had conversations with them. That's why they're there.
I feel it's our responsibility of who we put in front of you.
Yeah, if I showed you the list of the emails that we got from people wanting to be readers, it wasn't every single one of them that are in that building. She does vet them, and we pick and choose, So, like I said, other places are just like, they need to make money. So, you want to be a vendor? Done.
But we don't make money at the expense of other people. There's no way.
But I have, through the years, like I said, and the one thing about, again, to her credit, that I will give her all the credit in the world for this, Chris will actually ask people walking out the door, did you get a reading? Who was it by? How was it?
Yeah, I want to know.
And that's great, because, again, we're not people who take people's money lightly. We're not just doing it for the sake of, we are doing it to raise money for the Barron Arts Center, of course, but we also don't want people walking out of there saying that scammers, they took our money, I mean, she cares. And if there's a lot of bad feedback about one particular reader or another, you won't see him again. So, like I said, I have my opinion. You guys know how I feel about mediums. Do I think there are real mediums? Yes. Chip Coffee blew my friggin' mind. This woman that we worked with many years ago in the art factory did stuff that I could not explain. And you know me, if I could explain it and rationalize it the way I would.
Thank you, Maria.
What she did, I cannot explain.
Yeah.
I can't. Jane's done that. Judy Kay has done that. And I give them all the credit in the world. This is before social media, before Ancestry.com. These people have been reading for years. And here they are, still known and still doing it. If they were complete frauds, would they be around still with social media? People would have said they're fakes and frauds, But anyway, she does. She vets them, she does her best to try to really get an idea of who they are.
I don't sit down for readings.
No.
I don't have anyone read me. I don't want that. It's not my thing. I'm a very private person. So, when stuff like that, I I had a really bad experience with a psychic medium when I was 17.
I had a bad experience.
Yeah, and I absolutely refuse to let anybody be exposed to something like that if I can help it.
I'm an angel. Facebook's, you know, again, you're gonna get me in trouble again, but I really don't care at this point. But the medium thing, people have anointed themselves mediums. People have anointed themselves demonologists, and people have anointed themselves as celebrities, and that drives me blanking nuts. It really does. As someone who's been in this field for many years now, it's not the word insulting. It's not insulting to me. It's just I don't see how they do that. I just don't see how they do that. That you can't anoint yourself as anything. If people want to give you acknowledgement or recognition, and like John Zaffis is a demonologist. That guy studied and has been working
Since
with the
he was
church.
a teenager.
I mean, he's done what demonologists do, even though I don't believe in demons. But for these people to just, I took an online course, I did this, I'm anointing myself because I know the Bible. And
I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you can go online and become an ordained minister. And a lot of people in the field do that, and then they come out and say, I'm now a demonologist. And that's something to be aware of when you talk to people.
But again, even like I said, back to even the celebrity thing, it's just like, come on, man. New Jersey Paranormal, and again, this isn't me patting myself on the back or us, but we've sold out every event we've ever done since we started doing events back in 2004. Does that make us celebrities? Does that make us anything other than 4 people or 5 people that people like to come and join us and have a good time and go into different buildings with? That's all we are. That's all we are. We're just people that have been fortunate to work with these people in these great buildings and have people that want to come and do stuff with us. That's all we are. I would never put us on a poster. So I would never get a giant banner that says, as seen on Kindred Spirits on Channel 11 News. So I would never, ever do that.
I can't put up my banner? I have a banner.
What was your banner say? I'll run at the first sign of spirit trouble? Is that what it says? My protection circle means nothing. Is that what the banner says? Is that what it says? No, not some. A lot are spirits. A lot are celebrities.
They're celebrities in their
own minds. That's the problem. And whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, what did we learn tonight? We learned that
they're not. Teresa is.
We really don't know, again, as many years as you're doing this in this field, you never know how it works, whether the spirits are always local to the building around you, or is there a way to channel them in? Can people's energy channel in spirits that are connected to them when we're doing what we're doing? Is it a form of seance when you get a group of people together and you're openly talking to spirit, and can you channel in spirits from another? That's a point. Another point is, if someone tells you something is a protection circle and they don't go into it themselves, then maybe you really shouldn't. Maybe you really shouldn't feel that secure about going into that circle yourself.
That's how scared I was. I forgot about it. It's like a dog that gets scared and runs into the road and gets hit. That's me. I get so scared that it goes out the window.
I'm just saying, maybe we need to name that something else than a protection circle. Or maybe there needs to be a question mark after protection circle question mark.
Well, obviously, Taylor felt so secure she stayed.
Taylor believed what you told her, but then you went running and that went out the window. Anyway,
Good
We
night.
will wish Chris a happy birthday today, and I will post tomorrow to wish her a very happy birthday. And we're going to enjoy her birthday tomorrow. And Wednesday is the um, auction at the Creeper Gallery. I don't know what time that starts, but we'll be live with Donna. We'll actually be at the Creeper Gallery doing the auction with
Thank
her,
you, guys.
going over the clips, going over the objects. So if you want to bid, watch, or if you just want to watch, you can do that too. And then when we do come back after that, we will start the cable access New Jersey Paranormal series with commentary.
You
And
guys will get a good laugh out of that.
that should
Trust
be
me.
fun. Anyway, have
Thank
a good
you,
night,
everybody,
guys.
for the birthday wishes. Have a good night. Stay healthy. Be safe. And please remember to be kind to each other.
Maybe next time, protection square. We'll try that next time.